Hello guys. I said I was going to be talking about my honest university experience, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be starting from here. Stay with us, don't go away. Okay, hello guys, and welcome to this week on Princess Anu-TV, one of your favorite TV channel. And if you're new on this channel, I'd just like you to keep watching, and if you're okay with the channel, you can subscribe, you can share with your friends, and who'll just be here. So I posted on my Facebook that I was going to be talking about my university experience as a whole, and the reason why I'm going to be doing that, which I also stated there, is because I don't want others to probably make the same mistakes I made, or also know how to just pass through some certain phases in the university and even before you enter the university. So this is basically what we're going to be talking about today and in our subsequent videos. So stay tuned because we're going to be starting right now. Okay, first, I actually did not want to go to UNIPORT. I attended UNIPORT, but I did not want to go to UNIPORT. Well, I didn't know why. Maybe because I was staying in Port Harcourt at that time, so maybe I was feeling that Port Harcourt, UNIPORT, a lot of us as young people, we don't want to stay close to the house. And I'm sure in your mind too, you did the same thing. Most of us do not want to stay close to the house. You feel like, oh, I don't want that to be calling me, mom to be calling me, oh, going home, blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you the truth. It actually benefits you too if you stay close to the house, because you have the opportunity to go home and collect foodstuffs. Yeah, those are the kind of things that I benefited. Maybe, okay, if I had school maybe outside Port Harcourt, I'll have been buying foodstuffs for myself, or there are some things I would have had to buy for myself. But because I was staying in Port Harcourt at that time and UNIPORT, so I had the opportunity to go home to collect foodstuffs. So these are the part of things you're going to benefit. So stop running away from home. Oh, I don't want to go to a university in my state or in my hometown, but because I don't want my parents to do this, do that, blah blah blah. So that's actually number one. Well, I didn't plan to start talking about the things you should learn before talking about the main thing, but well, since this high is going, we are going to continue like that. Okay, and choosing a course for me. Okay, I actually studied animal and environmental biology, but I didn't want to study animal and environmental biology. I wanted to do aeronautic engineering. I had the desire, I wanted to be able to design aircraft, fly aircraft, repair aircraft. I think that was what I thought of in my head when I thought of aeronautic engineering. But because of the availability of aeronautic engineering in Nigeria, and at that time my parents were like, we have to do our first degree in Nigeria, like that. They had their reasons anyways why they wanted all of us to do our first degree in Nigeria. So all these things had to play, and I just decided I didn't have a plan B. Though sometimes they say it's always good to have a plan B, blah blah. But sometimes I also feel when you have a plan B, maybe things don't work out the way you want to work out. But for me, in my case, I didn't have a plan B, and maybe that was actually part of things that amounted to me going to read Animal and Environmental Biology. So when I wrote JAM, at that time, I think I scored about 200 and something, around 204. So, and I didn't pick UNIPORT as my first choice. I picked OOU and OAU. In fact, I had no idea about these universities. I just picked them or just random base. I just pick them, and that's another mistake you should not make. If you want to pick a university, I think you should consult before picking, so you don't end up wasting that 1 year. If I had consulted properly, maybe consulted my parents and my brothers, or maybe people around me that are much older than me, probably they would have told me the right things. Maybe pick this university for this reason, pick this one for this reason, pick that one for like that. So I just picked any university at all. And at that time I was hearing that you then was having a lot of strike, blah blah blah. I had to transport myself, just moving. I didn't have what I'm just trying to say, I didn't have a basic knowledge about that university. I just picked it just for. I don't even know what entered my head. Maybe I picked it for picking sake or whatever. And that's part of mistakes, like I said, you should not make. Consult before you pick a particular university. So finally, I didn't get admission that year. It actually happens. Well, maybe we are not many that it happens to, but I know it happens. Not everybody that leaves secondary school that year gets admission. Most people are very lucky and get admission that year. So if you're not lucky to get admission that year, don't feel bad. Well, did I feel bad? I actually felt bad, but I didn't take it upon myself because maybe, okay, my parents they told me I had to do basic. So that was how my story in UNIPORT started. I went to do basic, and basic was supposed to be for around 8 months to 1 year. Basic is like a pre-degree program. Like most universities, they have pre-degree programs. Maybe they call it several different names, but for UNIPORT, they call it basic. Basic is for the sciences, then certificate is for the art students. So then I was to do basic. Oh, I've not even told you the course I picked when I wanted to do basic. I picked pharmacy. Why did I pick pharmacy, for goodness sake? I don't like drugs. I don't like injection. Like, you need to hear me. I'm sure maybe if my dad is watching this, or maybe my mom or my brothers, or even people currently where I am, like in aviation here, like they hear me. Like whenever I go to the clinic to collect injection, Father in heaven, hey, everywhere is on fire. If you hear the way I shout. So definitely these courses were not for me. For goodness sake, pharmacy, medicine, they were not just for me. I never liked them, but I picked them. Why? Because, okay, aeronautic engineering was not available. Maybe I would have picked mechanical engineering, but I didn't pick mechanical engineering. I went and I picked pharmacy. For goodness sake, why? Well, that's the story for another day. I picked pharmacy and I entered to do pharmacy. And along the line, one thing happened. I didn't make the cutoff mark, and okay, when okay, sorry about that. When the admission list came out, my name fell under animal and environmental biology. Actually, part of the reasons why my name fell under that, because when you don't like to do something, and you, okay, I'm going to put it this way so that you're going to understand better. I didn't have the flair for that pharmacy, so I just felt, let me just do anything. Like, I was just nonchalant about it. That's the right word. I was nonchalant. I was just feeling anyhow, I beg, let me just do something. And that's part of the mistakes that we make, and that's part of the mistakes I made. I just felt, let me just do something, anything whatsoever, and I went. But when I checked it, like the first semester, because I think we had 2 semesters. Is it 2 or 3 semesters? I can't really recall again. Like, we had the first semester, when I saw that I didn't really do very well, I was like, I had to tell myself the truth. If I don't do well now, the blame will be on me. Like, the shame will be on me. Nobody knows whether somebody picked the course for me, or whether I went to do it by myself or whatever. Nobody knows. All they want to see is that you made it. That's all they want to see. And that was what I didn't think about when at the first semester of doing that basic. So I just felt okay. When I now realized in my senses, when you come to a realization actually about what you're doing, things will just begin to change. Yeah. Things begin to change, and that's what happened to me. I got to realize that no. If I fail, it will be on me. It's me carrying the failure. It's me carrying this. So I had to put more effort into what I was doing. And well, thank God I got admission that year, and that was when I got admission into animal and environmental biology. That was the beginning of how I started UNIPORT. And then I entered into my first year. I don't know whether I'll be able to talk about my first year. Okay, about my first year. This time around, I decided not to be nonchalant about things, just like I told you about my basic. Like, I was nonchalant about a lot of things, and I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't get the course I was supposed to get, and like that. So at this time around, in my first year, I decided not to be nonchalant. I decided to be very serious. But I also made a mistake. And now we want to talk about the academic part, because that's one of the basic reasons why we go to school. That's, in fact, that's this the, if to is to do well academically. That's why we, our parents, channel a lot of resources. That's why we channel a lot of our resources into this. But this time around, I don't know whether I was trying to be smart with myself. I saw several past questions, blah blah blah, and the rest. And I don't know, I just felt, oh, these past questions, they won't come out. Nothing. I beg, leave them aside. So I was just reading, trying to read, trying to understand. I was just doing everything with effort, instead of going through past questions. And that's something that is very, very key. You know what? That course you're doing, that course you currently have embarked on, someone else has done it before. In fact, a lot of persons have invested so much. They've done it before. They've passed through that stage. So that's part of the origin of these past questions. So when you see past questions, it's not good to ignore it. For me, I made that mistake. I ignored past questions in my year one. And when I entered to the exam hall, I started saying, wow, how come, like, what I read and what I'm seeing, they don't just tally, like, they don't just correlate together. They are not matching. I cannot pick what I read to answer these questions. And that's because the way they are asking it, if I had read past questions, I would have understood it better. But because of, I don't know what I was even scared of, or why I didn't want to read the past questions, I will use the word, I was foolish, because I didn't read those past questions and I went to the hall. When I realized that was in my year two. So I had passed through year one. I was managed. I had C's, though I had an A, I had B, like that. But I would have done better if I had made use of past questions that were readily available in order to make me pass. So these things are things you need to watch out for. Don't play smart on yourself. Don't feel, oh, this past question is not coming out, blah blah blah. Look for past questions. Read a lot of past questions. It will really help you. And that's part of mistakes I made academically in my 100. As it concerns the hostel, a lot of people dread staying in the hostel. They tell their parents, no, I can't stay in the hostel, this is that. But to me, the hostel was actually a place where I could relate with other people, number one, learn how to live with other people. Because I thank God too, I went to a boarding house. I could, in a boarding house, they keep changing your room, especially if you stay there throughout like 6 years. Every year they keep giving you a new room like that with different roommates, so you learn how to live with several people. So the hostel was just like a complimentary lifestyle to me, to help me to also understand several other persons, how they think, how they reason, how to relate, and it also help you. That's why you see a lot of people, even in their working place, they tend to, argue, quarrel, because they don't have a general understanding about people, like when to just leave them, it helps you understand how to live with people. That's part of the advantages I'm telling you about hostel. I'm not saying compulsorily you must stay in the hostel, but these are the things that the hostel lifestyle is going to help you. Yes, the hostel bedroom and toilet is not that is always, most of the time, not that hygienic per se, but you personally, you need to learn how to live in your own way, like, as in, you need to be 100% hygiene conscious when you're staying in the hostel. Like for me, by the grace of God, I stayed in the hostel throughout. Apart from water reaction that I never had any infection, blah blah blah, and the rest. Well, God was on my side. Apart from that, I was very cautious. Okay, I had a very sensitive skin, and because of that, I knew, okay, this, I will do this, I don't do this, I do that. These are the things you should consider. So for hygiene, I can't tell you that the hostel is perfectly good as it concerns hygiene, but it's a place you will learn. Also, when it has to do with assignments, tests, all those things, you hear it faster in the hostel. I know there are a lot of times maybe you didn't even go to class, or maybe the information was passed, you were not there, or even impromptu lectures, impromptu tests. If you're staying off key, for goodness sake, most of the time you're going to miss impromptu tests. I know a lot of people that have missed even exams because of staying off key, because you consider going to stay off key, and maybe when they say, this lecturer is there, before you even leave your house to even start coming, you know what that means? Like, you pay transport before you even pay dress, like you're not even ready. But if you're in the hostel, even if you maybe something happens and it's very urgent and the person has not even bathed, just to wear a clothes, rush out, when you're done you rush back to the hostel. These are part of the advantages that you get from staying in the hostel. So don't dread the hostel per se and be like, oh, I don't want to stay in the hostel, oh, the hostel is this, oh, the hostel is that. It's also going to help you. Also, it also helped for fellowship. Like, so most of us that I attended student Christian movement then in university, and like it was interactive. You see people, you interact with them. So like I said, hostel, this is part of the things that I was going to. So for me, I stayed in the hostel, and well, had a good time actually. You know how it is, like learning in Ofrima at that time. Whoa. The place is always crowded, the place is always full, but it's just like you're having survival of the fittest. Like if you did biology, you understand what I'm talking about. How everybody is struggling to survive. Everybody's struggling to hear what the lecturer is saying. The lecturer is not even speaking out loud, but you just have to pass. Well, I tried my best. Okay, I think in our next episode I'm going to be calling the results I had at my year one. But they were not so fantastic, but I just knew I was putting in my best. I knew it's like I didn't feel, because I was doing animal and environmental biology, okay, this is not the course I wanted to do. Maybe I'll just relax and feel that, oh, anything goes, just like I said, just like the way I did in my basic. I know this is not the course I wanted to do, but I just had to put in my best, because you never can tell. In fact, I had it all planned out that, okay, I can do this with this course, I can do that. I had to start thinking in the line of that course, because you have to act on where you are before you can get to where you want to be. If you don't start acting on where you are at that time, you will not even have the opportunity to get to where you want to be. Imagine, sometimes I just sit down and imagine if I didn't go to university, or if I didn't decide to do this course, where will I be at this time? These are the part of things we should consider, even if we are doing that course that we don't like. I need us to always consider that. So was my year one actually very dramatic? And don't worry, I don't want this video to be too long for this episode. So next episode, I'm going to be telling you about my account, how it's called, and lecturer scandals, blah blah blah, and the rest in the next episode. So stay tuned, keep watching story time on my university experience. If you've not subscribed, please, I'm closing my eye. 1, 2, 3, 4. Click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button. Click. Yeah, click the subscribe button and make sure you ring the bell, so whenever we post, you're going to see. Keep watching Princess Anu TV. We are here to make you a better version of yourself. That's why we keep sharing experiences that will make you better. Keep watching and stay with us.